Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night Live. My name is Kesh. I got Sean. I got Marc. Your usual candidates, but guess what? I've got a special surprise. We've got Jennifer from the office, the portfolio manager for all our clients. I'll tell you what, in this world, when you talk about buying real estate, that's one part of it, but you need someone who will manage the entire process. And Jennifer does an amazing job for the JR family, and we are so grateful for her. And thank you for coming on board tonight.
Thanks, Kesh.
And this is the best I can be. This is my best behavior. And I'm coming back to tonight's podcast. Guys, welcome back. I know we dropped off a little bit, but we took a well-deserved break, as you will see in our previous week's episode. So tonight's about understanding mindset, is debriefing, understanding personal challenges, because we sit here and act like we know it all, but we don't. We all go through challenges. We're all human. We all go through stuff that you would go through. And tonight, I'm going to just put these people on the spot today. Today's not planned. Today is just about asking straight, heart-hitting questions about how people deal with stuff. Because I'll tell you what, the difference behind like success and failure is actually taking action. And taking action sometimes feels a little bit easier said than done. And there's a lot of work that goes behind it. So I'm going to ask my crew here, people I love, people I work with. And yes, we help investors make millions of dollars, and we help them get financially free. And yes, we help them with tax, and we do all of these sort of things, which is normal. And if you're not doing that, you should reach out to us. And this is not a shameless plug. This is like a wake-up call. So anyway, coming back to tonight's episode, we're going to talk about mindset and how important it is to have the right mindset to succeed in life. It's not just about property or shares or investing, but just your life. Are you living the life you dreamt of? Or are you just getting up every morning, going to work? And honestly, I want to speak to you tonight, just doing it for the sake of paying bills. Because I'll tell you what, I wasn't born to do that. I'm pretty sure. Sean, I don't want to speak for you here. You weren't born to do that, Marc. You weren't born to do that. And Jen, I know you for a fact. You weren't born to do that. We're meant for greatness, and so are you. So let's debrief. Let's have a chat with everyone and really understand what's important from a mindset question. Now, guys, I have some questions prepared today, and we're not just going to shoot off the hip as we normally do, because I want you guys to get some value tonight. I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to relate. I want you guys to absorb, and most importantly, action. Have the courage to action, because I'll tell you what, each and every one of you, with the right team behind you, with the right support system behind you, with the right mindset behind you, everything is possible. So tonight, I'm going to start with Sean. I'm going to go to Marc, and of course, our special guest, Jennifer, who's been very kind enough to join us tonight. So, Sean, starting with you, how's your week been? We got to do the huge.
Well, my week's back to being chaotic, ladies and gentlemen.
Very good. We're in the thick of things.
We're back into the thick of things. For all of you people that are waiting on me to get back to you for a bunch of things, please know that I hold you very near and dear to my heart, and I will be endeavouring to get back to you as soon as possible, as soon as time permits. But
no, actually, that was the wrong one. We got the big one. You know what? Not that I have a bias. That is true. There's a lot going on. Marconi, what about yourself, mate?
Mate, it's been a cracker of a week. It's actually been really good.
I love that. Every time you say cracker, bro, just make it.
You got to have spice behind it when you say it,
mate. It's like there's a level of optimism behind it. I love it.
It is good. It's stronger at this time of the year than I thought it was going to be. People don't give about quack that out. They don't care about what's going on with the market. They don't care about
they've learned their lesson.
Exactly. Media talk until
these were the who thought there's going to be a 40% crash. Sorry, absolutely. last one. Producer Ryan is giving me the dirties, ladies and gentlemen. He's like, mate, I'm not going to edit this shit out, so stop getting around. Last one. Last one. I love you, brother. Thank you. No, but that's true. That's true. Yeah. People have realized that the banks aren't doing shit.
Yep.
And they want to park their money where it's worth. In fact, we had some reports last week. If you haven't watched it, I'm not going to be kind enough to share that information. Go and watch my other episodes. I get views and subscribers. Let's do that. Jennifer, how's your week been, love?
My week's been great, but other than that, we've been putting out some fires in construction.
That's very good. I know it's quite complex.
All across Australia, there's been timber shortages, so some of our clients have had jobs on hold, which kind of sucks, to be honest, but there's nothing really we can do on that side of things. But
It is national. It is like the cost of construction is going up. Jen's doing a fantastic job. Jen, what has been like the biggest thing that you've seen consistently through the construction process?
Well, the biggest thing I've seen is usually what's important to me is communication. So, on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis, our customers or clients, you could say, are notified of their progression with what
That is
stage they're at
beautiful.
in construction.
That is beautiful.
But other than that, I just truly believe communication is really the most important thing when it comes to buying a property, well, through us. For me, in terms of, like, let's say there's a client that's, not happy with their progression due to the timber shortages. I have to make sure I'm constantly providing them, with the updates I'm getting from the builder, make sure I'm there for them along the whole journey, because that's really important. And, I want to make sure the client's happy at the end of the day.
You hit on something so important, and people forget this through investing, and we've all been there. It never goes as far. And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. I know it can be very annoying and frustrating in that moment. It could really, really be. But at the end of the day, if you are going to look, if this is not for you, you're better off getting 0.35% from NAB or whatever bank. Sue me.
Yep.
Don't actually. Got a lot of real estate. Just saying. But I'm just saying, these are the challenges that normal people face. When they just go off realestate.com off mate. But I love that, Jen. That is such a beautiful point, that you're supporting people, that have someone to talk to beyond just the builder, just the land developer, who's going to walk them through these. And these are challenges. Like, there is a massive shortage, which is a logistics problem. Companies like Amazon, Apple, GM, Mercedes are feeling it, let alone someone building a little, very cute house on land, let me just say. This is normal. This is part and parcel of the journey. And the most important thing is that there's someone there alongside you, fighting on your side, making sure they're being looked after and things are being delivered. So, Jen, publicly, whether the clients do it or not, I want to thank you for your efforts and looking after everything. So I know it's not easy, but it takes the right mindset. That gives me a great segue. So, Sean, without wasting too much time and blabbering on, I think, me personally, I think the importance for growth is challenging yourself, right? People get too comfortable. They get lazy. And they make up bullshit excuses. And if you feel differently, call me out in the comments. But they do. I've been there myself. So I'm not going to point fingers. I'm one to blame in this scenario as well. So, how important is it to deal with challenges constantly? And how does it change you as a person?
Well, first of all, it's a really deep question.
I love it.
I like deep questions like that.
Perfect.
This is important, but to be, well, let's approach it from a different angle, right? So this episode's loosely still based around mindset and achieving big things and achieving goals and so forth, so on.
And challenge is a big part of it.
Yeah, and I consider myself someone who's really passionate on this topic. I live and breathe goal setting. I live and breathe goal achieving and so forth, so on.
Can I please button?
Absolutely.
I vouch for that. I vouch for that.
Absolutely. So one thing that I feel that human beings have to do is when a lot of people set a goal, which is, let's say it could be a weight goal, it could be a financial goal, it could be a charity goal. People set the bar up pretty high so that it motivates them to work towards that goal. Now, what a lot of human beings do is, when it turns out that they're getting close to that goal and it looks like they're not going to hit it, we have this fatal flaw within us deep down inside where we decide to subconsciously or consciously push that goalpost further back. So we say, hey, you know what, I had this goal for the 1st of July, but I've changed it now. I've decided to change my mind, and I'll make it the 1st of August or the 1st of September. I'll give myself another quarter. And what this does to yourself is it creates a damaging effect that you cannot quantify with your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, for those of you who are listening to this that know what I mean, you're subconsciously telling yourself that you were never good enough. But in reality, you can look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that, hey, if I really was to hit this goal, I know that there were things that I could have done, but I left them in the tank intentionally. So the one piece of advice that I'll give for people that really want to evolve as a human being is stop pushing that goalpost forward, evolve to do what it takes to get that goal achieved at a set amount of time. And that goes back to setting realistic goals in the first place.
May I jump in? And the realistic goals actually answered my question, if I'm honest. But a lot of people, and again, I'm not trying to get into this whole like argument with people, whatever. There's a whole concept about love yourself. And my personal belief, and I do agree, I come from a little bit of an old school mindset where it comes, love yourself if you deserve it. And when I say deserving is not from external matters, not how your parents view you, how society views you. Do you really know in your heart, have you given it your 100%? And for people who miss their goal and use timelines, look, you don't hit your goal. I'll tell you something straight up. If I don't hit my goal in the timeline I've decided, but I swung for the fences, fuck it, I'll live by it. I'll own it because I did my best. If I don't hit my goals because I was a lazy person, I was scared, I was anxious, I was whatever I was feeling, my heart goes out to you, but it doesn't count because the whole idea for challenge was to overcome it. Yep. Overcome it. So, mate, I want to ask you this. If I get to my deadline of achieving whatever goal it might be, partner, money, mental health, whatever it might be, and I don't get there, how do I reassess myself? How do you truly know if you swung for the fence? I know in my heart, I'm honest with myself. How can people be more honest with themselves?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I feel that despite a lot of people having a variety of different personalities, everyone knows whether they truly gave it.
That's true.
Gave it their 100%. For example, we've all turned up to work the next day, or we've all turned up maybe a long time ago to school the next day, and we've said that, okay, well, here's this assignment, and it turns out I was sick over the weekend, so I really couldn't finish it, right? Well, what were you doing the 2 weeks before that? Were you still sick? Well, no, you weren't. and a good question I like asking...
Facts.
And a good question I like asking people is that when you have long-form assignments, and you know they're due, everyone's had one of these in their life, I'm sure. And
I'm guilty.
People go, I was sick, I had a family tragedy, I had this, and let's say that they're all valid arguments. It just takes me back to this thing that I learned from this movie a long time ago, more than 10 years ago now, to this movie called 3 Idiots. You've seen it. If you both haven't seen 3 Idiots, please watch the movie. It'll give you a new perspective on life. And the headmaster of this institution tells the kid going, yeah, I know you've had a rough time, I know you were a bit depressed or whatever it was, but in those couple of weeks or whatever it was, did you stop eating food? And the guy goes, no, I didn't. Did you stop sleeping? And he goes, no, I didn't. He goes, then there's no reason for you not to have done your assignment. And that gave me a different perspective of knowing, yeah, we do what's absolutely necessary. And this boils down to the crux of what I'm trying to get at. The crux of what I'm trying to get at here is it's not because we're having a lot of liquid courage and having so much fun at Bella Vista Hotel every Friday night. By the way, shout out to Bella Vista Hotel.
I love the plug.
We have to do the plug at least once, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I took my shot. Anyway, and I took those shots as well back there, but anyway. So the crux of it is, don't set a goal unless you truly want to achieve it. If you don't want to achieve it, you're going to let yourself down and you'll make excuses and you'll make a habit out of making excuses. The one thing that I'm so proud of here with producer Ryan, yourself, Kesh, Marc, the enforcer, Jennifer, the killer, is that whatever goals you four all set up, you actually decide, you know what, I'm going to set up something realistic, but I'll do what it takes to deliver it. And you have delivered it quarter after quarter after quarter. And that builds self-confidence, which leads to bigger goals and bigger dreams, I feel.
I agree, because I truly believe those who set their goals way too high and hoping to come close to those goals and obviously they don't achieve it, it's one of the most damaging things I believe you can do to your performance.
That's beautiful. That's so true.
I've seen it happen a lot to so many people. It just purely demotivates you in every way. But going off what you said about what you watched, I've read this quote and it just says, how you do anything is how you do everything.
That's amazing. I love that.
Quote.
That's great. That is great. I love that too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
so realistic goals is so important, and that's like a Bible for us. Every single quarter, every single month, we're reviewing our goals, and big shout out to Sean there, because you stay on top of those goals.
No, it does. It takes and that's such a fair point, and I'm going to jump and digress here. And again, this might seem like a shameless plug, and I can think it in my head already, but I'm just honestly saying it is so... I can't tell you the number of people I see with not the right team behind them.
Yeah.
You got to have... sometimes you think your friends and family are the right set of people, but sometimes they're not. When I started investing, I had large amount of debt. People thought it was crazy till it tripled in value. So it's just who do you have behind you? Do you have the right mindset? And Jen, that is so true. We're blessed to have that environment where not only for ourselves, but even for our clients, we try and influence them positively, if you will, with the right mindset. That's beautiful. Now, Marc, I've got a heavy hitter for you, mate.
Nothing the enforcer can't handle.
Oh, exactly. Marc, and you know what? This is very close to my heart. I've been here one too many times than I would like. And I want to ask you this. I have an answer for myself. I don't know if it's the right answer, but I want to ask you that I have a lot of respect and love for your perception. You're a very empathetic, loving person, and you approach things in a very practical manner, the enforcer. So let me ask you this. Sometimes in life, one can really have the biggest goals and really go for them hard, but you do end up in rock bottom. It doesn't work out, and that's okay. But I realize that's okay now. It feels like someone's clipped your wings and you can't grow them back and you feel you're stuck. How do you get out of the rut, mate? How do you get out of the rut?
Good question. I don't have an answer for you. No, I'm joking. I've got plenty of answers for you.
The wolf doesn't have wings.
But the wolf doesn't perform the circuit.
But the wolf has a friend who's a phoenix, and the phoenix got wings.
Look, I think it's one of those things where a lot of people, the old cliche, fail, then you'll succeed, and blah, blah, blah. And it's true. It really is, and you will never, ever know. And I guess we are in an age, I always say this because I've been there myself as well. We are in an age where everyone sees everything online straight away. Oh, look how successful this person is. Look at this. This is great. Oh, my God, they're going dinner here. They're flying there. They're doing good. Let them do that. Do they show you a screenshot of their bank account? No, they don't. Do we want to see it? No, we don't, because we'll probably cry, either good or bad, all right? But regardless, these things that we see have been poison, if we think about it, for the last 10 years. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure we're all guilty of it here.
100%.
One part
100%.
in our life, right? And one thing I did was removing the poison for a while, and it does help. It does help because you start...
Can you emphasize for us what poison...
Social
is
media.
It temptation?
There's a really good rehabilitation facility northwest here in Balkan Hills.
We don't secretly own it.
Social media will always show you the best of everything.
Oh, it's a highlight reel. It's a highlight reel.
It is, and
100%.
that's okay. That's okay. We're good with that. But life is not a highlight reel.
Correct.
And Sean's actually said this really good thing before. I think it was Tony Robbins that mentioned it. If we went to the casino and gambled over and over and over again, we kept winning, would we really be that excited to win after the 100th time? Not really.
Yeah.
You know, like we all say that now because we've gone through the losses. Correct. Everyone that will say yes will go, oh, I'd love it. It'd be mad. But bullshit.
Correct.
You say that now is because you've gone through 5 years of losses. They're not losses, but if you look at it as a loss, of course it's a loss. Oh, I got done hard here. Oh, I lost this money there. All right, well, what are you going to do about it? You've got another 50, 60, 70, 100 years left of your life. You're going to whinge and go, like, I'm sitting at the bar. Oh, I used to be this, used to be that.
I used to be a salesman.
Yeah, you can do that. and they're the people that I always say that they kind of turn off the engine. They turn off the engine, and it's like a plane gliding now. It's got its engine cut off and it's just waiting to die or waiting to land. Right? That's those people.
Die.
Yeah.
They're not going to land. They're going to do a little
They're going
MH.
to die. They're going to die, right? And these people are. It's like when someone says, "Oh, I had a crack at this and it was hard. No, I'm just going to go back and work a full-time role." Good. If you enjoy it, good. Right? And Gary Vee will always say it as well. If you enjoy working full-time, good. Then don't carry on like you want to be a business owner and you're not happy with it. Enjoy whatever you do. And I totally agree with that. So I think to go back to the question, how do you grow your wings back? There's no secret sauce. There's a big set of balls, belief, and just saying, whatever's happened has happened. I was not meant for a certain path. Accept it. There's been, probably in the last 12 months, I've accepted so many things just on my end about I'm not a certain type of person or I'm not this, and that's okay. But before, my ego would not let me accept that. It was, no, you're not a bitch, you're not this, you're not that.
May I jump in? That acceptance, does it come from actually putting yourself in positions of challenges and difficulty to really realize what you're made of and where your circle of competence lies?
Yeah, it comes from self-awareness. If you're not self-aware of what it is you can do in this world, I've realized I'm good at connecting with people, talking with people, and being the person that needs to be, let's say, in any circumstance, a first point of contact. All right?
I reckon the credit goes to the wife and the kid. It's that empathy in you.
Well, if you want to push yourself harder, have a kid. Let's just leave it at that. So but yeah, look, I could go on and on and on. It's a good question, but I'll keep it short.
Bro, that's beautiful. So summary of that is, mate, put yourself in positions, trust yourself, be honest with yourself, and you can only be honest with yourself if you have put yourself in difficult situations to realize what is your circle of competence and what is not.
Well, I think I will find the quote. I remember seeing it years ago, but it was basically just accepting, when you, it's not even a quote, I think it was in a song, like a Rick Ross song or something. It was pretty good. Yeah. And,
I felt like Rick Ross just came in the room for a second there.
But this song, I'm going to find it. I'm going to play it next week. But it was a little snippet where they were basically saying, when you've accepted the truth, then you're free. It was very powerful, and I thought that it's so true. When you accept your self-awareness that you might not be good at this, but you're great at this, and I don't want to do that. Well, do that, because that's where your competence is. Right?
And in reality, a lot of people are just not seeking the truth. So when you start deciding, I'm done with the BS, I'm done with the pretending, I'm done with putting myself in other people's views of where I should be, in society. You decide to start chasing real truth, and guess what? That truth is always chasing you back.
Yes.
You find it sooner than you expect it.
Yes.
Word. We are. Guys, we're going to go on a quick break.
Great idea.
A subscription break, if you will, to go this. We're going to come back, and I don't know if I should ask. I'm going to ask Jennifer very, very hard-hitting questions about a lot of things in her life, because she's our guest tonight, and we're going to come back. So guys, this is your moment. If you don't subscribe, I don't know. It's the beginning of the year. I don't want to go
Give
hard.
us a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up, subscribe,
Just subscribe.
comments.
Where do we subscribe?
Spread the love.
Which corner?
Hit the bell icon notification.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's make it really annoying for Ryan, producer Ryan. Be like, hey, we want it on 97 degrees. No. Guys, hit the subscribe, the bell icon. Give us a like. Give us comments if you love us, hate us, you want us to cover something. I don't care. Take the time out. Type something, if you will. We will be back in 5, 4, 3. Listen, subscribe. 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the subscription break. You 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You had a chance.
And if you didn't get...
Yes. Guys, if you haven't subscribed as yet, it's not... Am I slurring my words?
I haven't subscribed as yes, because
Too much shots, Kesh. Too much shots.
I think it is too much shots, but
we are supporting the Bella Vista Hotel.
we are
great place to hang out and
not only
discuss
for
your
the
drinks.
podcast, but we are making sure we're getting those bills up. But coming back
Correct.
to the podcast, we promised we're going to ask Jen some great questions. So, Jennifer, we were having some hard-hitting questions there about mindset and challenges and growing your wins back. Bro, this, guys, everyone on the podcast needs to know, bruh, whatever we had before this was amazing. But coming back to this, Jen, I have a real serious question for you. How do you work through days and deliver even when you have personal challenges? Because all of us go through it, no matter what level. And I know you for a fact you're a machine. Hats off to you. And this is not me just saying it on the podcast and publicly, like, you know, pumping your tires. But
You do say
honestly, Jennifer is someone that I know in my personal life that is just knows how to put it aside and achieve, like, smash goals. And I need to know, what's the secret sauce? Share it with the other women.
Mamba mentality. Is that how you say it? Is it
Mamba mentality. It's Mamba mentality and the good Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of course. It all comes down to faith. You know, as cliche as this might sound, there's a light at the end of every tunnel for everyone. Everyone experiences different things. One thing I've learned is you can't compare yourself to other people's situations in
That's
life.
beautiful. That is.
I think everything's been beautiful tonight.
I think you got to repeat that in very slow, relaxed form.
You cannot compare yourself to anyone else's life and their situation. Everyone goes through different things, whether it might be, you know, let's say, for example, on a personal level, they might have a breakup, for example. They might have, you know, they might have just been fired from work. They might have, you know,
harsh.
like everyone just goes through different things. For me, on a working level, like in my experience and what I've seen around me, those who enjoy the most success are the ones best at prioritizing. You will know this, prioritizing the day's tasks and activities, and also accomplishing the most important tasks in a day, not the amount of tasks they achieve. There's two different things here, and they're both completely different.
That is such a clear day. Can you define that for our audience?
So, for example, people would go through, let's say, like 10. Let's say someone has 10 tasks to do a day, and the other person has 4. But those tasks will make them like go to a next level. Like, let's say, for example, for me personally, I used to sit there doing so many tasks in a day, would say yes to everyone, would say yes to everything. Sat down with Sean earlier last year, and we were talking about, you know, how to prioritize our days and what's more important. First, for me, when it comes down to prioritizing, like for example, we've had clients, as I said earlier, in construction that have been facing delays. For me, that's really important. So I want to make sure that's one of the first prioritized. Yep, on my list. And then goes to other things I do in a day, whether that might be, you know, dealing with solicitors, dealing with developers, whatever it is. Prioritization is key to success, I believe. So even if you're facing challenges personally, you know, prioritizing what's important to you, what's important to your friends, what's important to your family, it just comes down to what's important to yourself and where you're going to be tomorrow or where you're going to be next week, you know. What I've really realized is when I come in on a Monday, for example, I sit down and, you know, I try to, we all have a meeting on Monday. We want to achieve our goals for the week.
That's right.
We all say what our goals are for the week, and we want to make sure all those goals are hit. And, you know, that's really being priority. What is it? Prioritizing, sorry. Yeah.
No, but
that shot got me.
Mate, like, listen, no one's judging us here. Let me just dig deep on that, right? I know people might look at the cover picture like you know, you're a girl, you're pretty, you're this and that, but I know for a fact that, mate, you got balls bigger than a man. I know that for a fact, right? And no matter what's happening, and I'm not going to go into details tonight because the audience shouldn't be privy to this, but you're someone I know that shows up every single day and does their best, and I respect you for that. Because, mate, that's for most people, that's not even normal, right? People love to have a cry, but how do you park very complex things? And everything you said was so valuable, but how do you actually just park that? What is that conversation? Because you know what? There's so many girls like you, and the reason we have you on this podcast is because we want to put this message out there. Like, on the surface, everything looks like we got Lambos, we're buying the watches, we're doing all of this, but there's serious stuff behind the scenes, and no one needs to know that. But you show up and do it. what is the conversation you have every day in the morning before you jump in your car, drive into the office and kill, like I know you do, for your goals?
For me, it comes down to my faith.
That's beautiful.
Amen.
Yeah, anyone, whoever believes in whatever, we all have, let's say, one God. For me, it comes down to my faith. Whatever's written in my life, it's written already. All I could do is, go through it myself. I know for me, everything I've done for, whether it might be for, at work, my family, my friends, my partner, whatever it might be, I know all the good will come back later in life. But like every day I just sit there and I know I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. I just have to have that mentality. And it's all about, prosperity. So JR, prosperity. It's all about prosperity, abundance.
Guys, that's not a shameless plug. That's legit like company. What do you say? Like
can I step
ethos?
in as well?
Yeah,
what Jennifer's saying just on the back of that, I think is something that I found as well in the last 12 months is that part of the whole process of belief and faith and everything like that is letting go as well.
Of course, yeah.
Letting go of
and acceptance, what you said before.
Acceptance, but like you got the goal. Okay, the goal is a car, for example. We know the car.
No, we're getting Jen to the hills, brother.
Let's say the car is what we want to
We're
get.
dropping in the McMansion acreage.
The car is what we want to get, but we're not going to think about the car every day. We're going to focus on what we need to do every day in order to get to the car, whatever it is. The guy in our life, the girl in our life, whatever.
I get what you mean.
We let go. That's the biggest part of it, I think, and that's what a lot of people struggle with. I know I did because I had, I wouldn't say control problems, but, you want to control everything. Everyone does, and that's what leads to people getting anxiety is that they don't have the control that they want, right? So when you let go of it, your anxiety gets gone like that.
But
So true.
You know what it is, and this might sound a little sexist, but all my life I've gone through basically thinking that women plan better than us, at least in my life. So if you look at my mum, my wife, anyone else, they planned way better than I do because I'm one of those guys. I'm like, you know what? Start the car, sort it out.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on the road. But saying that, Jennifer's one of those people, and the reason I asked her that question, and to relate it back to the audience, just to add value, is everything that meets the cover page is not what it is. Instagram is not what it is. Just what you see is not what it is. Because someone's got a smile on their face and they're nice is not what it is. It's. I know this girl for a fact has overcome things that people need fucking counselors for. Like a legend.
It also goes back to what you were speaking about earlier, about people around you, well, there's a saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And that hit me.
Jennifer tonight is dropping some bombs.
Wisdom.
Boom, boom.
All we gotta do is facts. Ryan's like, these sons of...
The reading's gone to another level over the last 12 months.
To be honest, it's not just your friends. It's who you work with. It's your family. It's literally everyone around you. And for example, if we had one, demotivating, whinging person in our group here, we would not, achieve anything at all. At all. We would not achieve anything. So, that's why we look for people in our team to join, like with that mentality we all have here. So that's really important. The people around you is what also helps you face challenges and overcome them.
A strong circle pays you a lot more than you can tell from the beginning. So I think the dividends that pay off well into the future.
Yeah.
But a strong circle don't make you feel too bad when you have the small losses.
Yeah.
And they don't make you feel too good when you have the good wins as well. That's what's important about a good circle.
Yeah. And you realize that as you get older. That's something
that is gold. That is gold. You know what? That makes me transition. Sean, coming back to you. And Jen, may I just say, as a guest, if you want to back, mate, you just got to put it in the comments. If you don't, just give us,
guys, drop some comments below so I can
we need 10 comments asking for Jennifer back.
No, like legit. And if you don't, at least give us 20,000 subs, like that's the least you could do, right? Coming back, my phone's going off, but coming back, and Jen, what you ended on was beautiful. Sean, I want to ask you something. In today's day and age, the biggest challenge is getting people, you know what? The success of any business or any idea, forget business. Any idea, any investment, anything is like-minded people coming together, working towards a certain goal and achieving it, good, bad, or ugly, right? What I want to ask you is this. Is it important, especially when it comes to business and investing, to be objective, and why? Especially investing. I won't even say business. Sometimes some things you do in business that have a very long term, like this is an example. But when it comes to investing, why should you have a long-term view, and why is that super important?
Okay, so without getting too much into philosophy here, I've had this debate with a lot of very well-read citizens of the world. Is it possible for a human being, which is, let's say you're a human being. I know you were born.
I think so.
You were born in a certain place. Jennifer's a human being. Mark's a human being. Producer Ryan's a human being. Is it possible for human beings to be 100% subjective? 100% objective? The answer is no. It's not. It's not possible.
Nah. That's true. That's true.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right. So what I realized was when it comes down to the investing journey, it is our goal, and it should be everyone's ambition, to fight through subjectivity to get to that objective goal. But the problem is, even when you get to that healthy level of objectivity, it often factors in so many factors of other people's subjectivity. For example,
opinions. Is
Byron Bay a market today where units should be worth $1 million?
I would say if people are willing to pay for it, so be it. But long term, maybe not.
Exactly. That's a healthy, objective view. My subjective view on the situation is no, they shouldn't be worth $1 million. The Byron Bay units should be worth 600 grand. Houses should be worth 800 grand. It's a beach with no economy. Everyone knows that. Everyone that's investing in that market knows this. They're investing in there because they want to bank on the future of people collectively hoping that it's worth something.
I'm probably going to get from very affluent people, but you know what Byron Bay is? It's the Bellevue Hill holiday home. That's all it is. It is just so you could go to your kid's private school and say, you know what? We picked up a really nice place to spend Christmas on. And that is Byron Bay's fundamentals.
Ryan's laughing behind the scenes, guys.
So if you're someone spending $1 million on Byron Bay's apartments, if you got that money to spare it, great. Long term, God bless you. And you know what? If Chris Hemsworth and Zach keep picking up chicks from the local cafe, great. Beyond that, God bless you. That's fair. That is very, very fair. Now, Mark, coming to you, I've got another question, and we're going to wrap it up because we've got about 10, 12 minutes before the audience loses attention, right?
And before we lose something very important.
Yes.
Dignity.
Our dignity. That's
You're at
very
Bella
true.
Vista Hotel. Shout out.
Look, and this is something I want to do a little bit of an intro to. I'm a personal believer of overthinking is for the weak, underprepared, and I have a very right-wing understanding of overthinking.
Amen to that mentality, by the way.
But saying
That's what keeps us winning.
No. But saying that, I know there's some people out there who would just get really upset because they couldn't have their banana burrito or whatever it is. But coming back...
How are first-time buyers going to get into the market?
Coming back, I think overthinking, for me personally,
Yeah.
and I'm explicitly saying personally, is a big barrier to success. What has been your most successful, and I'm going to go each and every one of you, what has been the most successful attempt? Because all of us do it. I'm not going to sit here and think like I'm king shit and I've never done it. I've done it myself. I'm as guilty as anyone else. What has been your number one success story of overcoming overthinking in important circumstances, career-defining, family-defining circumstances?
Good question. It might be a little bit of a different answer here, but
Oh, mate, go for it.
one thing I did when I was younger, was in business, blah, blah, blah. We won't go into detail now, but I did pick up a lot of anxiety at one stage. And one thing that helped me was, I didn't have a license at the time because I had lost it for a little while, but was cycling.
Oh, there we go.
So I was
Little
riding,
push bike.
Yeah, I was riding. I took up road cycling, through the Lycra on, got a little bit fancy in that regard. And
Marcos and Lycra, let me know. Onlyproperties.com.au.
But look, I guess in all seriousness, it was the best thing I ever did because I was a huge overthinker on every single facet of life. Why am I breathing? Why am I doing this? What's going on? When you just get in those rhythms in your head where you just wonder, is life what I'm going through? Is this what it's all about? And when I took up that cycling, it was good because I would take that time to think and think and think, and then I go, oh my God, I've got to do this next hill here. And I have to do it. I don't do it because I'm wanting to be fit. I was like, I've got no license and I've got to go 15 kilometres to get home. Well, I'm not going to catch a bus because it doesn't go the right way and it wasn't near a station, blah, blah,
Mate,
blah.
I'd rather cycle than get on a bus.
It was good.
Go
It was good.
NSW public transport.
It got my head sharp. Like people don't realise this stuff. They don't think about it. How does cycling help you? Besides a fitness thing. Well, it got me over. It got me, let's say, underthinking or less thinking. Let's call it whatever we're going to call it. And for me, it put a lot of things into perspective. So another time, and you may appreciate this. Maybe let's say a few years ago, there was a moment where I realised in my life. Again, this is more self-awareness. I was like, you know what? I am too focused on trying to find this next level spiritual person, but I'm forgetting what they call have you guys heard of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Right? It all starts with your base, which is your fundamentals, which is food, water, shelter, and is it sex or something like that? I don't know. I think there's 4 or 3, whatever it is.
I know what you mean.
And then you've got levels to it, right? And the highest part or the smallest part of the pyramid is, finding yourself. That's when you've made the money, you've got, let's say, your life sorted from a financial standpoint, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I need to have a look at this chart here. Where am I sitting? I was like, all right, I'm missing maybe the bottom part a bit more than I am this part, and I'm trying to investigate too much here. And it made me realise that you're overthinking things. And we've got a mindset this year, all of us here, is the gorilla mindset. We talk about it all the time. It's our mantra at work, is that we go in and think less and do more.
Yeah.
Simple.
Action more.
It all comes down to also reflection, which is that was reflection for
correct.
you.
Yeah, on the bike I was always reflecting. Yeah. Always have to, because at the end of the day you think to yourself, am I going crazy? Well, no, I'm not. And then you put things into perspective by saying, fuck, here's the next hill, right? As much as it sounds like, you little bitch, what's wrong with you? But no, when you're riding and you go, is this hill going to stop? Is it? And that's all you're focused on.
Yep.
But then when you're sitting in an office or you're sitting at home and you're watching Netflix and you're going, I've got to do this tomorrow. I've got to do it. You're worrying about things that haven't even happened yet.
Yep.
Right?
I think, you know what, Jen, actually you picked it up, reflection. Can you tell me I have 2 opinions on reflection. This is my personal opinion. Some are very healthy, where people learn and move on, and some are like people stay. How have you in your life used reflection in a positive manner to learn, absorb, and pivot to a better direction that will serve you?
Well, for me, reflection is very important in my personal life and my career life. So, for example, how I reflect is through reading. Reading is really important. And also, as well as, even going for a walk just in nature, looking around, I feel like that just clears your mind. But in saying that as well, just having a discussion with the people around you also helps, like myself and the person. I find that is really beneficial to me. But to be honest with you, if you don't have an accurate picture on how you're tracking and how you're doing and how you're using that information to move forward, you're basically flying blind. That's what I think.
That's beautiful. That's so true.
Everything I'm saying is beautiful.
No, it is, because you are flying blind.
You are flying blind if you don't.
You got to stop and go back and be like, I need to look at this and be, how's it working for me? Is it not? Because that's great.
So for me, I'm always constantly, seeing how I'm, tracking even if it's with you guys, how I'm tracking in my personal life. Self-awareness and self-development is so important in all aspects of life. And I feel like if you don't have that, then you basically don't have anything to look forward to in life. Like that's just, you have nothing to look forward to. You have nothing to work towards. You're basically going nowhere in that sense. That's what I believe. But as I said, you're basically flying blind if you don't have an accurate picture there.
I think that's a very important lesson. Now, coming back, Sean, I know you had an important call you need to step out for, but coming back to you, mate, how important has reflection been for you to learn and move forward and actually implement stuff that changed the trajectory of your life?
So reflection's been a pretty phenomenal part where you get to, over longer periods of time, you get to gauge how far you've come. So that's what I found that the secret of reflection is for me personally, that if I write down things on a journal, for example, or if I write down a targeted goal list, I can look back over a period of years, 2 years, 3 years, and then I realized looking back that those goals were so small, but at that point in time to me it meant the world.
That, guys, I'm going to just jump in. I don't want you to think I got a bias. That is beautiful. That actually is, because that's true. Because you write your goals, you achieve them, and then 100%.
So what it'll give you is it'll give you guidance to know that, okay, today whatever big goals you've set up personally in your lives, whatever they may be, that at one point in time you used to have big goals as well. They were achieved, but today you see them as small goals. So progression is what I've learned from reflection.
Right, that is so true. You know what? And this is not me beating my chest. When I was 16 years old, I'd kill to be where I am right now.
Very true.
But when you get there, you're just like,
There are two different types of people. There are people that write down goals and achieve them and give up after that because they're satisfied with what they have. But then there are people that write down goals, achieve them, and then they just want to keep going. And that's where I find success is really is. And I give it to all people that, push and keep going and wanting more and wanting to achieve more. You guys have all done it yourselves. And I've seen you guys, for example, have purchased properties. You're all investors. Not just that. I just see that you guys keep pushing and you want to achieve more. You want to purchase more property, and we want to do the same for all our clients as well. So that's 100%. Why
I love how Jen just comes back straight to the money. I love it. No, but that's true. But you know what? On a mindset perspective, that is 100% true. People think my job's important, my kid, my this. Marc is not going to wait for them.
Yeah, like even with all our clients, we don't want all our clients to just have one property. We want to make sure we can help them, build up their property portfolio. We want to make sure we can help them become financially free. We just you don't want to stop. You want to make sure someone achieves
provided they're willing to do it.
Exactly.
Paying the price.
Exactly. If you can do it, why not?
100%. Everyone can do it if they're willing to.
Exactly.
Now, guys, before we wrap up, I just want to wrap up on a beautiful saying. This is not mine. This is not ours. I was listening to a very important mindset podcast the other day, and he says, you can drive from LA to New York, or you can drive from Sydney to Perth, if that's more relevant. And you can Google Maps it. You can look at all the important spots. But the only true way to experience that is to actually start your car and drive, because no matter how nice your car is, no matter how nice Google Maps is, you can only see 2 kilometers at a time.
Yeah.
And unless you sit in your car and start your journey, you will never know how it ends. And the worst part of your life is not getting rich or getting poor, but living with the feeling that you didn't swing for the fences and you know it in your heart. So if you got anything out of this, ladies and gentlemen, this Friday Night Live episode is you're in control. You're the one who makes decisions. You're the one who can change the trajectory of your life if you're willing to. And if you don't have the right team, the right people, the right mindset even, and you don't know where to get started from, if it's not us, it's not us. It doesn't matter. Speak to someone that you feel comfortable with. Speak to someone that you can relate to. Speak to someone that you want to be successful like, because you know what? There is a very simple template to do it. Anyone can do it, no matter what background you are, what your history has been, as long as you're willing to do it. And I can tell you that tonight's podcast, I've had Sean, I've had Marc. Jennifer's been very kind to come and join us tonight. Producer Ryan's been very patient with us swearing our head off. And so all the quacks or the accelerations that you hear is us swearing. But you have control.
Live in the present.
100%.
Sometimes you do have to think ahead. When it comes to property, you've got to think ahead sometimes.
You do?
But I heard a lyric once when I was driving in the car, and it said something like, the present is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And that lingers in my mind all the time.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's Big Sean. I'm not sure.
let's shout out to Big Sean if that's you. Present is a gift.
But the present is truly a gift, and, we just have to live it.
That is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Friday Night Live. Thank you very much. Before we wrap up, we're going to take a second subscription break. So subscribe. You've literally 2 seconds to do it. We're going to come back with some rapid robins. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our podcast. We took a second break because you know what? It's the beginning of the year and we want some love. Our goal, you know what? I'm going to say it. I want to be at 1,000 people by the end of financial year. And if you're not going to help me, don't watch my videos. Don't watch my videos. You freeload it. No, I'm joking. Coming back. Before we wrap up, as we do always, this is our second episode for the year. Sean, rapid robins, my sir.
It's really funny. Before we went on the break, I knew what the rapid round robins were.
Yay.
After we've come back, I've just somehow hit a bit of a roadblock.
Come on, let's channel it.
I had a really good one as well.
ASMR.
While Sean is thinking, can I say a quote?
I've got the rapid round robins. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back.
Back.
Thank you for getting me back on track. The enforcer always knows how to pull me back to the Mac truck.
Enforcer.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, what is your favorite quote or passage of all time? Jennifer, let's begin with you since you're our guest this evening.
How you do anything is how you do everything. That's mine.
Boom! Absolute golden wisdom in that. I like
that
it.
is. That is.
I'm glad you asked this question. I was manifesting this question. I was waiting to tell you a quote at the end of this segment, and you just said
Were
that.
you?
This is called a team operating on sync.
Yeah.
We are on sync, I'll tell you
Sniff sync.
Fireballs.
Is it the one where you say you can't lead a
Nah.
horse to water and make it drink?
Please, brother.
No, these are no more kiddie ones. We're going for the hard stuff. Let's hear it.
Can I give you two?
Absolutely.
Because I do have two. One's
Sure.
a little bit more subtle. the other one's a
I'm
little bit more
Googling
forceful.
my favorite one because I can't remember.
I got two, and
Go
I
for it.
actually keep them both on my little vision board. Every day I look at them. The first one is, remember the days you prayed for what you have now.
Yep. That's amazing.
Wow, we spoke about this today. That's so powerful.
Yep, I love that one.
And the second one is, be humble, but let know.
Mm.
And
I like that second one. That's a bit of MF action.
a bit of oomph. Yeah, you got to be firm.
Be hungry, stay humble.
Yeah.
Kesh
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It is. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna paraphrase here because I can't find my one, but my one is Warren Buffett's, and that's my mantra in life. If you don't find a way to passively make money, you will work till the day you die. And you know what? I wasn't born to pay bills.
Nice.
And you know what? You can sit there and ask about LVR and LMI and vacancy rates and is this good or is this bad? But I'll tell you something. Putting money anywhere else, real estate, shares, commercial, residential, is leaving it with the banks. Interest rates up, down, or sideways, mother truckers. I am beating inflation through my investments. So I have found a very successful way that works for me and within my circle of competence. That will give me passive income till I die. So when I wake up and go, I'm not going to work for my needs. I'm going to be working not for my wants, but I'm going to be working for my dreams.
Yeah, I can't believe how well you remembered that quote, word for word.
Is it?
That's the longest quote I've heard.
Mate, the last bit was
The
me.
quote's still going.
The last bit was just all me. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go take a
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate that.
Love you, Jen. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
And
guys.
Say my quote next week.
this is second episode, Friday Night Live 2022 with producer Ryan.
Yeah.
And this is Friday Night Live. Boom.